Most people think mediocrity is something that happens to them, that is a consequence of bad luck, poor circumstances, or lack of opportunity. But here's the truth. You don't stumble into mediocrity. You train for it every single day, often without realizing it. Every choice you avoid, every habit you postpone, every time you settle for comfort instead of challenge, you're teaching your mind that being average is acceptable. And the mind is a very obedient student. It will follow the rules you silently give it every morning. When you wake up, you're faced with choices. Some are small, almost invisible. Check social media instead of working on your craft. Scroll endlessly instead of learning. Stay in bed instead of moving. Those small choices accumulate. They become patterns. They form your habits, and your habits shape your identity. You are not lazy. You are trained to stay average, trained to avoid discomfort, trained to settle. And it's subtle. You don't notice it because every action seems harmless on its own. One day off won't matter, you tell yourself. Just one episode, just one scroll. I'll start tomorrow. But one day compounds into weeks. 1 week compounds into months. And suddenly, when you look back, the life you wanted is further away than ever. And you can't even remember when you stop moving forward. That's how the mind builds complacency silently, invisibly, and effectively. Here's the painful part. Awareness alone isn't enough. Knowing you're average, knowing you're settling, doesn't break the cycle, because the mind resists change. It prefers safety, predictability, and comfort. Every time you step into challenge, it whispers excuses. Every time you hesitate, it tightens the grip of habit. And most people listen. Most people obey. That's why average doesn't feel like failure. It feels like normal. Safe, comfortable, acceptable. But comfort is a trap, and mediocrity is the result of training your mind to prefer the trap over growth. Every time you avoid the action that scares you, your mind stores that as evidence. Comfort is preferable. Effort is optional. Risk is dangerous. And it uses that evidence to influence your next decision. Day after day, choice after choice. Your mind becomes a machine designed to keep you small, to keep you average, to make you believe that striving for more is unnecessary or impossible. Now, here's where it gets interesting. The same process that trains your mind for mediocrity can be reversed. The same obedience your mind shows toward avoidance, comfort, and laziness can be redirected. But it requires awareness and intentional action. You can't just say, I want to be better. You need to design your daily actions, your environment, your reactions, in a way that forces your mind to follow the path of growth instead of comfort. The mind will obey. It always does. It just needs rules. Let's break it down practically. Start by identifying one area where you consistently choose ease over effort, one habit, one decision, one behavior that keeps you average. Then, design a daily action that forces you out of comfort in that area. Something small, but consistent. Something your mind will initially resist. Something your brain will protest against. That resistance is proof that you are targeting the part of your mind that has been trained for mediocrity. And repetition is key. One action isn't enough. You need to repeat, reinforce, and make it unavoidable. Because your mind will test you. It will tempt you back to comfort, whispering, just this once. Every time you resist, you are retraining it. Every time you act despite resistance, you are strengthening new neural pathways, building a mind that obeys growth instead of stagnation. That's how ordinary people transform into extraordinary ones. Here's something most people fail to understand. Growth is boring until it's not. Doing the small, uncomfortable actions every day doesn't feel like progress. It feels like friction. It feels like resistance. It feels like nothing is happening. But that is the training period. That is the stage where your mind is learning new rules. And if you stop now, you go back to what you've always been. Average, complacent, comfortable. If you keep going, one day you will wake up and realize you have a level of discipline, focus, and capability that your old self never imagined possible. The final truth, your mind is not your enemy. It's a mirror of your habits, It is obedient, predictable, and incredibly efficient. If you train it to prefer mediocrity, it will deliver mediocrity without fail. If you train it to prefer growth, discomfort, and intentional action, it will deliver excellence without fail. The choice is not motivational, it's structural. The question isn't whether you feel ready. The question is whether you are training your mind correctly every day without compromise. Here's your action step after this video. Pick one uncomfortable action today that challenges the habit keeping you average. Make it unavoidable. Do it fully, with no negotiation. Then repeat it tomorrow, and the next day, and the next. Track it. Observe your mind resisting and watch it bend to your rules. That is how you break the pattern. That is how you stop being average. And that is how you take control of the only thing that determines your life, your mind.